You've been watching the House Judiciary Committee hearing on the increase in violence against Asian Americans. That hearing comes as we learn new details in that deadly shooting spree at 3 spas in Georgia. 8 people were killed, most of them Asian women. The suspect in the shooting has now been charged with 8 counts of murder. He has not been charged with hate crimes. Officers say his parents saw surveillance images on social media and helped police identify him. Police were then able to track his cell phone and arrest him south of Atlanta. Overnight, thousands showed up at vigils across the country to mourn the victims. More than 28% of the adult population has now received at least 1 dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. But the nation's top infectious disease experts are warning about vaccine hesitancy, urging people to get the shot as soon as they are eligible. A recent poll found nearly half of Republican men would choose not to get vaccinated, even as new cases are on the rise in 15 states, at least a 10% increase in the last week. And a major storm is moving through the South with at least 25 tornadoes reported across 6 states. Those tornadoes touched down in Alabama, destroying homes and forcing people to shelter in place. More than 17 million are still under some kind of weather alert. And we're getting a look at the extent of the damage after dozens of tornadoes tore through the South of the night. We're now learning at least 18 of them touched down in Alabama. Now, that state was under tornado warnings for 6.5 hours straight. ABC's Victor Oquendo is in Chilton County, Alabama. Victor, what are you seeing?
Diane, this home in Chilton County taking the brunt of one of these tornadoes. You can see the windows blown clean out right inside the home, the furniture tossed all over the place, the roof, it was peeled away. The National Weather Service will have to get a team out here on the ground to survey all the damage to determine just how strong this tornado was. But as you look over my shoulder here, you can see the massive debris field, everything that's left behind. This structure, well, it was actually a bedroom. It was attached to the house. You can see it was blown feet away. We do have some good news to share this morning, though. We just saw a line of bucket trucks. Take a look at this video moments ago right here in Chilton County. Help has arrived, and on top of that, we've also heard from the Chilton County Dispatch, and they tell us that despite all the devastation here around us, they're unaware of any reported injuries. Diane?
That is good news. Victor Oquendo in Chilton County, Alabama. Thanks, Victor. And the warnings and precautions leading up to those storms likely saved many lives. Now those storms are moving east. Senior meteorologist Rob Marciano is in Charlotte, North Carolina with more. Rob, what's the latest track on these storms?
Well, here we go. The last round, Diane, is going to be heading into the Carolinas where we are right now. We still have a tornado watch that's posted for southern Georgia and parts of the Florida Panhandle. That's in effect till 1 o'clock. There you see also the big expanse of this system with the center of the low back around Paducah and the rain shield, heavy rain at that, getting in through Pittsburgh all the way in through the northeast. That's not a fun day here. But here's where the dangerous weather is across Georgia and parts of Tallahassee and eastern parts of the Panhandle. But as we go through the day today and we start to heat up the atmosphere in eastern Georgia, in the coastal Carolinas, that's when we get a little help of instability, and then we're probably going to see some thunderstorms that develop that could become supercell thunderstorms that could drop some tornadoes, not just weak ones, but strong ones, and or damaging straight line winds up to 80 miles per hour and big hail. And this is going to be mostly Columbia to Charleston and then Wilmington, right on the border there of North and South Carolina. Late this afternoon is going to be the trouble spot, I think, as far as when people really have to be paying attention and think about getting into their safe place, Diane.
And Rob, we saw what happened in places like Mississippi and Alabama overnight. So what do people who are now in the path of these storms need to know? All right, well, there's a checklist, and if you live in the tornado zone, hopefully you're familiar with it. If not, let's go through your plan of action if you are in the path of a tornado. And you obviously want to keep it tuned to your local ABC affiliate. They're gonna have you tuned in for sure, but definitely get a weather radio. If you don't have one of those, just activate your cell phone. All right, go into your settings, go into notifications, and go down to emergency and weather alerts, and boom, that will wake you up if there's a tornado warning in your area. And then stay away from the windows. We don't need your video. Go to the lowest portion of your home in an interior room, a closet, or ideally a bathroom. And it's never a bad idea to bring a bicycle helmet in there, even some pots and pans, a mattress, whatever. If it's getting really bad, the more protection you have around you and your loved ones, the better. So once we get through this next 18 hours, Diane, I think we'll be through at least this round of severe weather, but it's just March. A lot more to come in spring for sure. Diane. All right, good advice there. Rob Marciano in Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you, and stay safe, Rob. Over to the pandemic now, where local pharmacies are playing a key role in vaccinating millions of Americans. That includes Skip Back Pharmacy in Schwenksville, Pennsylvania. The independent pharmacy has vaccinated thousands already. Now the state health department says Schwenksville's county has one of the highest per capita vaccination rates in the state. Dr. Mayank Amin, owner of the Skip Back Pharmacy, joins us now with more on this. Dr. Amin, thanks for being here. How much of an impact do you think your pharmacy has had on your community during this pandemic?
Thank you, Diane, for having me. The impact our pharmacy has had on this local community, I can say the community has actually done way more for us than we've done for them. We've been able to gather over 450 volunteers in the span of 1 month, to the point where our volunteers, there's now a wait list for volunteers to actually come and help us out at one of our clinics. It's a good problem that we have right now, but obviously we want more and more vaccines to keep coming so that way we can serve our community even further.
I noticed you're wearing your special outfit, and you actually wear this to your vaccine clinics and to your at-home visits. Tell me about that. Why Superman?
So the whole idea of Superman came about a year ago. It was New Year's Eve, and I was dropping off a prescription to a child's house who had no idea I was coming to his house. I thought, let me make the last delivery of the year very memorable for that family. And when I knocked on that door and that child opened the door and saw Superman standing outside, he truly thought it was Superman that was out there. And to this date, his mom still lets me know that he still believes I'm Superman. I don't actually believe that I'm Superman myself. I'm a servant to this community, a servant to my patients and to society. I just represent a lot of the frontline responders, the hospitalists, the UPS drivers, everyone that's involved in the process of getting one step closer to fighting this virus and actually kicking it home so that way we can resume normalcy again. And I wear the cape, but in reality, it's all the volunteers and everyone helping that truly are my superheroes.
What kind of a reaction do you get from people when they come and they see you in the Superman suit? Does that kind of ease any of their nervousness about getting a vaccine?
Yeah, so last year when the pandemic first hit Montgomery County, I thought, let me pull that Superman costume back out. And I actually got a whole bunch of different costumes. I was Spider-Man one day, Iron Man, Captain America. So I would wear different superhero costumes every day at the pharmacy. So when patients would walk in, scared to death, of course, because they didn't know what was going on, they would see that the pharmacist is there and he's wearing something completely out of this world. And that's kind of how the idea helped alleviate patients' fears as they were walking in here. And I've continued that throughout. And vaccine clinics, that still continues.
Well, and you've done a number of those now. I know your first one was Super Bowl Sunday at a fire station. You've now had a number of vaccine clinics at locations throughout your area. And you're also doing home visits for seniors who are homebound. How successful have those combined efforts been?
The homebound visits have been something that have been so touching. My grandmother was somebody who was homebound towards the end of her life. And to that date where she passed away, I was sleeping literally on the floor right next to her, being her 911 anytime she needed something. Unfortunately, a lot of the seniors out there don't have that grandson or son to take care of them in that same manner. On her behalf, I want to be able to serve all my homebound patients and seniors that are out there. So to me, they're not just homebound patients, they're also my grandparents. And something I want to continue along and be able to do, because when we show up to their house and we wear costumes too at their house, they are just blown away and in tears. And people ask, like, there's a lot of cool things that happen out of these vaccine clinics, but the most rewarding is seeing those patients and how happy they are, not just for me being there, but for all these volunteers giving up so many hours of their day and night to help.
Now, you were considering a career change away from pharmacy before you took over Skip Back Pharmacy. Why were you going to leave the industry, and what made you change your mind?
I was working for Pfizer. And now we're giving out Pfizer vaccines. I'm sure the Pfizer team is very proud of what we're doing here. I decided the change in career because I saw that a lot of the small businesses in the local area were shutting down. And it was a part of the town that was missing. Something that's been here 50 years. I was not going to let a chain just take over this town completely. There's a community that needs a community pharmacy. They need someone that they can trust and someone that they can go to at any time of the day. And that's why I decided when I saw those patients trying to open the doors and they saw red signs saying their prescriptions have been transferred up the street to a chain, and I saw how heartbroken they were. For me, that was the moment where I was going to stand up and say, I might not have a cape on, but I'm going to bring this community together, and I'm going to make sure that we can actually have success with this pharmacy and be there for the community. The pandemic obviously hit, and we never realized that was going to happen. But now we're truly seeing that, and the community's coming back to us, absolutely loving everything we're doing for them.
All right, Dr. Maya Kameen, thank you for your time today, and thank you for the work you're doing. I'm sure everyone in your community really appreciates it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you and everyone else out there.
Same to you. All right, coming up, here's the incredible story of a man who almost lost his life to gun violence and how he made a comeback in the boxing ring. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're going to go now to a story of triumph and resiliency. Lorenzo Thomas almost lost his life to gun violence, but he kept fighting and found hope at his local boxing gym. Aika Achaji has more.
Stepping into the ring for a fight can be daunting for anyone. But for Lorenzo Thomas, it's a fight he embraces, especially after what he's been through.
Good. Feels good, releasing any stress. Also just trying to do something with my life.
Stacy Tucker says her son's been throwing punches long before getting into the ring.
Lorenzo always have been a fighter. I could tell you that.
It's a trait she says he got from his father, a cyclist who made it to the Seoul Olympics in 1988.
He took up the cycling that he liked to do like his father.
Was he good?
He was good. He was great. He was great.
But Lorenzo's active life came to a sudden halt on the night of August 11th, 2013.
I got a knock on my door. So when I opened up the door, his friends that were with him that evening said to me, Lorenzo was hurt, he got shot. And I said, huh? What do you mean? Going down to the hospital, I was looking to see something horrific. But when me and my older son went in and we looked at him, he looked at peace.
At that moment, did you think Lorenzo was gonna die?
To be honest, no. Because my faith is that strong.
Down, but not out. Lorenzo kept fighting.
There's a reason for everything.
There were so many things going on. He was in a coma for 3 days. They had to go in because he had fragments from the bullet wound that on this side of his head, the damage from the bullet caused a shift in his spinal cord on the top. He had a trach, he had to get a G-tube. They weren't sure if he was gonna make it.
Lorenzo spent almost 3 months at Long Island's Winthrop Hospital, followed by several weeks in rehab.
He had to learn to do a lot of things over again, to talk, to walk, to eat. He was like a newborn baby. I had to do everything for him.
For 6 years, Lorenzo kept fighting, working so hard to finally reach the point where he could use a walker to get around by himself. In 2019, his fight entered a new round. Inspired by his Olympic father, Lorenzo decided to take his fight to the ring, which began with the ring of a phone.
So when he called me, it sounded like as if somebody had a little too much to drink, or they were trying to prank me.
That's Michael Corleone, Lorenzo's coach and mentor, in his gym in Hempstead, Long Island.
Must have been about close to 10:30 in the morning. I see a gentleman on a walker trying to get to my front door. I ran to the door, I opened up the door. I felt like the biggest jerk, because it turned out that this was a real phone call.
Michael immediately put Lorenzo in gloves and began showing him the ropes.
You could see that the want and the desire to do what it was I was asking him to do was there. So at the end of the workout, the mother asks me, okay, well, what do I owe you? I says, ma'am, I did not ask you for money, did I? She says, no, but it can't be free. I said, really, why not? And if I say it's free, it's free. She says, why would you do that? I said, did you see the smile on that young man's face? That was payment enough for me.
Mike is a sweetheart. He's compassionate and he's loving. And I see that with his relationship with Lorenzo.
When he first came, the walking was difficult. Sometimes he'd come in with a walker, sometimes I'd have to, as he progressed, he would hold on to my arm. At a point now, Kid walks in, takes over the speed bag, and walks over to the sit-up board. I'm really the blessed one, because for what that kid has done, I get choked up. That's a boy. What that guy has done and given me to train him, I can't tell you.
According to the American Association of Neurological Surgeons, people who suffer from traumatic brain injuries from gunshot wounds only have a 10% survival rate. Those who do make it live with severe damage to their cognitive and motor skills. But Lorenzo's motor skills have beaten the odds, and thanks to social media, Lorenzo's story has garnered nationwide attention, with some of his videos getting millions of views.
I spent hours every day, every night, answering the messages that we get on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
How do you feel the fact that you may be an inspiration to others?
Well, I'm glad to be an inspiration to others because I'm so young. I think that everyone can do something to the best of their abilities, because it's all about moving forward.
Life will knock you down. It's gonna be your job to get back up. How bad do you want it?
Ike Ajachi, ABC News, Hempstead, New York.
2 on that foot. That's a boy. 2, 3.
We're all cutting
Good
onions
job.
around here, Ike.
Okay.
Thanks for that. And that does it for this ABC News Live update. I'm Diane Macedo. Thanks for joining us. And remember, ABC News Live is here for you all day with the latest news, context, and analysis. I'll see you back here at 3 p.m. Eastern with Terry Moran for The Breakdown. Have a great day.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.